Everyone, welcome to Mama Behavior. Today I'm going to be talking a little bit about what to do if your child is diagnosed with autism, how to process it, what does an autism diagnosis mean, what do people who diagnose look at when they're diagnosing autism. So all that ahead, so stay tuned. All right, everyone, so let's get into it. Autism is a diagnosis on a spectrum. So your child might be diagnosed with very mild symptoms of autism. Other children might be diagnosed with more severe spectrum autism or severe autism on the spectrum. So what kind of things do people who diagnose, those doctors, those psychiatrists that diagnose autism, what do they look at? Well, there's 5 main categories that most doctors look at. Again, I do not diagnose any of this, so I'm going to leave that up to the doctors, but I do know that there are 5 main categories that ABA therapy and therapists like myself will look at, and that correspond with the diagnosis pretty frequently. So one of them is lack of social emotional reciprocity. So that means your child might not be connecting with you, giggling with you, looking at you. Those kind of things might kind of get in their way. There's no social connection, or they can't relate to your emotions. So that is something that they look for as a deficit. Another one is fixed or repetitive behaviors. So a lot of kids do the flapping as repetitive behaviors, or those fixed interests. I know a lot of boys love cars and they're really fixed on the wheels and having the wheels go around, and they kind of stem off of that. So those kind of things, and again, it's a spectrum. So it might be really severe where you can see those fixed interests, and it might be really minor where you can just see maybe a fixed interest on computer games or something like that. So that's something that they look for. And then also deficits in communications. Of course, if your child is not speaking by a certain age, or if they have just a severe lack in how they communicate, if it's a lot of, if it's no language at all, definitely, but maybe it might be a lot of sounds instead of words when they should be producing words. They look for that lack of communication. And then excessive adherence to routines. So there are a lot of kids out there that if you go a different way on your walking route, it's a meltdown. Or if their day is different by just a little bit, if they took a bath before they brushed their teeth and the next day they brushed their teeth before they took a bath, and it's a big routine change for them and they have a hard time changing that routine, that is definitely something that people who diagnose look for. And then hyper or hyposensitivity to things. So if you're like super hypersensitive about the way clothes touch you. So I knew a little boy who really liked the tightness of leggings. And so he would wear leggings with his clothing because he was sensitive about how the clothing touched him, or even just about how people touch you. Maybe they don't like to be touched on their shoulder. They like to just kind of keep to themselves. So those kind of sensitivities. And then like the hyper sensitivity, a lot of kids really like mushing things like moon sand or Play-Doh, and they really feed off of that. Or maybe it's a sensory ball that they like to hold on to, and they're really into that and they can't let it go. Those kind of things professionals definitely look at. So moving on, your child might be diagnosed with autism in 3 different levels. So level 3 is the most severe. Your child will probably need supports in that deficit. And then a level 2 is kind of that moderately severe. And level 1 is very mild severity in their diagnosis. So you might get a level 1, 2, or 3 diagnosis when your child receives it. And then just a couple things that I think can really help, and I'm going to make another video about ABA therapy, but ABA therapy hopefully is recommended by your doctor. It is built in science and it is empirically researched and just built in science. That's all I can say. There's a whole study, there's a whole book about it. It started with psychologists like B.F. Skinner and things like that, and it's evolved and been researched over and over and over and over again. So I know there's sometimes bad rap around ABA therapy, and I'm going to kind of debunk those in a different video, but I do hope that your doctor is recommending ABA therapy because it is helpful. I've worked in the field for many years. I've seen just great things come out of it. I've seen kids who came to our center with, not being able to talk and then leave the center by the age of 8 and had language developed, and they can communicate in a functional manner, and they can tell mom and dad what they want or need. So I just highly recommend it. Some kind of things that go with ABA therapy is we surely recommend having that 40-hour weeks. So 5 days a week for 8 hours is what most centers recommend and have available. And hopefully your situation can cater to that, because that's where we find the most progress, is when we get kids in that intensive therapy. And also we really recommend getting your kid in as soon as possible, before the age of 2 if you can, because that's where there's more neuroplasticity in the brain, and there's more, the brain is like a sponge. We can really just hone in on what their deficits are, and children under the age of 2 really pick up on it, especially with that intensive therapy. And intensive therapy might sound kind of scary, but it's like ABA therapy is a lot of fun. Like, we get to hone in on what your kid loves to do, and it might be playing with trains or a ball, and we use that as reinforcement, and we kind of weave in our therapy. I always used to say, like, the best part of my job is playing with kids, because I just would play with kids all day, but do it in a therapeutic manner where they're learning and they're building skills that are beneficial to the way life works and the way communication works, the way they're going to interact with kids in school, or have a teacher sit down and give them a lesson. We're teaching them how to build those skills to be able to do that. So it's really exciting. I get to play with kids all day. That's what I love to say. But it really is a therapy built around noticing your child and noticing what they really love, and pairing that with the skills that they need to build. So a lot of people think it's a scary thing and that ABA therapy is evil or whatever. I don't really know all of the rap behind it, but I do know that in my experience, ABA therapy has helped so many kids, and I highly, highly recommend getting that 40 hours a week in, and as soon as possible, hopefully under the age of 2. Or before the age of 7 or 10, whatever you can get your child, I recommend doing it, because every little bit helps, I promise. Every little bit helps. And then some other therapies that I wanted to mention that can kind of help your child is occupational therapy and speech therapy. Of course, we talked about those hypo and hyper sensitivities to things in their environment, and occupational therapy can really help with that. A lot of kiddos also lack dexterity in writing or balance, or just things like that, occupational therapy can really help as a sidekick to ABA therapy. And then, of course, lack of communication is one of their diagnosis categories. And so speech therapy is highly recommended as well. We, as ABA therapists, correlate occupational therapy and speech therapy in our programming, and we talk to the therapist and we see where that kid is struggling, and we collaborate a lot of times of course, with your permission, collaborate a lot of times with their therapy so they can get the best out of their 40-hour-a-week days at our center or at any center, and I hope most centers do that. I'm pretty sure that they do. Collaborate with those other types of therapies. Those are my recommendations. But please, 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 if your child is diagnosed with autism, consider ABA therapy along with accompanying speech and occupational therapy. That's all I have for you guys today. Drop your comments down below. Let me know kind of what your experience is with getting a diagnosis, how you guys processed that, and what the outcome was. Also, like and subscribe to my video. That would be awesome. Thanks, guys.